We can now continue with our tail part. So we're going to start from the top and then work our way down. So first we're going to do the internal frame, and we're going to raise up this internal area, and then we do the frame around. We then do the little flowers, and then each one's frame around. So on the front of our pewter, on our liner, we're going to draw in the internal frame, and then we are going to flatten. So we remove our liner and we flatten from the front. And then we can tidy up. We can then add our pewter back onto our liner. And we can do the outside frame. And then we can flatten again. So we remove the liner and we flatten from the front with our paper stump. So now we can do the first flower. So the flower has a little circle on the inside, so we're going to do that from the back. On our soft surface. So from the back of our pewter, I'm going to use my small ball and cup tool to add each one of the flower centers. And then we can flatten from the front. So back onto our hard surface. So we put our cup part over each one of our little dots. And then we can also flatten. Now we can add the first flower. So back onto our liner. I'm going to do all of the petals at the same time. Then we can flatten around. And for the tiny spaces in between the flower petals, I'm going to use my Teflon tool. After flattening and tidying up, we're going to raise up our little flower on top of the frame. Back onto our semi-soft surface, we can now do both the inside frame from the front and the overall outside frame. And then we can flatten again. So you're going to repeat these steps on all 4 flowers that are left until all 5 is done. Okay, so now we can do the last bit. all 5 have been done. So the next one we do in the same manner as the first one. So we first do the internal frame. And then we can flatten. And then we can lift up the frame around. Then we can flatten around. So now we can do the circle one. The circle we're going to do first from the front. So back onto our liner. And then we can flatten around. Then we can do the frame, the internal frame, and the outside frame. Then we can do the first triangular shape of the tail in the same manner as we did the square and the first piece. So first we do the internal shape and then we flatten. We can then add the frame around. And then we can flatten around. And then we can tidy up as well. And then we can do the last little triangle in the same manner. So that's the last piece of our tail done. So now we can add a little bit of height from the back. So we're going to turn our pewter upside down and place it on our soft surface. So I'm going to use my hands first to slightly lift it up. And then I'm going to use my paper stump to add a little bit of height to the frame and to the flower pattern. And then we can flatten from the front again. And then we can tidy up. Once we're done tidying up, we can define our edges with the metal ball tool, and then we are ready to start with our background. So that is basically our firefly done. The last little piece that we have left to do is the legs. So from the front of our pewter on our lino, we're going to do the first segment of the legs from the front. Then we can do the second piece. And now the last two little feet. Go back onto our lino. So now we can add a little bit of detail lines from the back. So we're going to place our pewter upside down on our soft surface. So we're going to draw in a detail line in the center of each one of the leg pieces. And then we can flatten again from the front. There we go. So now we can start with our central background.